In a previous video, I shared a bit about emotional hijackings, but in this video, I'd like to share information with you about emotional triggers, how we identify them, and how we can heal from them. But before we jump into that, I want to quickly introduce myself. I'm Tai Sawyer, the principal consultant at TM Sawyer Consulting, where we specialize in leadership development through emotional intelligence training. I help leaders outperform at their jobs using core emotional intelligence skills. So, what is an emotional trigger? Simply put, an emotional trigger is any topic that makes us feel uncomfortable. And they're usually aspects of our lives telling us where we may feel unsatisfied or frustrated. Emotional trigger topics can range from money to health to career and romantic relationships, and are usually accompanied by shame. So, how can you identify your emotional triggers? One way is to become aware of your reactions to news from family, friends, or coworkers. Become aware of the fact that if you're trying to hide any emotions, if you're trying to hide shame or guilt or envy, or make note of a particular topic that may cause you to have an actual physical emotional reaction, such as breaking into hives or vomiting or breaking out in a sweat. These are things to make note of because they are your emotional triggers. Also note that other people and their presence can be emotional triggers too. Become aware of your feelings when you are around those people and identify what they usually say or how they act that triggers you. Do you find that you often compare yourself to them, or does their temperament or personality offend you? These are things to make note of. So, how can you heal from emotional triggers? The thing about emotional triggers is that they are incredibly personal and super reactive feelings that we have, understandably, that we can't bring into our work lives because, again, you're human. And while there is no quick and easy way to heal them, I would like to share a few techniques to help you begin to do so. So, now that you know how you can identify your emotional triggers, if there is an emotional trigger event that takes place during the day, I want you to take some time later on that evening to explore the origin of those triggers. Let's say if, for example, an emotional trigger is someone at work calling you incompetent or always getting on your quality of work. Explore if and how your emotional reaction to this emotional trigger may be related to how authority figures might have criticized your work and actions as a child, and if that's something you should or want to work on in adulthood. Another technique is to act as if. Act as if you are healed. Some people call this fake it till you make it. Logically, we know how we want to or should respond in certain emotional triggering situations, but often our emotions get in the way. You know how if you were in an interaction during the day and later on at night you're in the shower replaying it in your head and you have a totally different way that you would respond? That is putting the act as if in place, but after the fact. What we want you to do is try to put it in place before you get to the shower. So what you can do when approached by someone or a statement that is emotionally triggering is give yourself time. Give yourself time to act as if you were someone who did not react as if it was an emotional trigger. This gives you the opportunity to practice pausing before a reaction and to also feel new feelings related to a new reaction. And lastly, another technique is to work with a therapist or coach. This is a great way to begin healing from your emotional triggers. Most likely, your therapist or coach has come across quite a few people who have had similar emotional triggers and can help you begin the journey of healing. So I hope this short video helped you get a better understanding of emotional triggers. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.